Yo guys, Coach Theo here on Common Sense. Today I'm gonna tell you how to master the skill of fasting, because that's the way you should be viewing fasting, as a skill or a practice, not just as a diet thing, a means of losing weight, something you have to do now because you're fat and then it'll be all over. No, first of all, even if weight loss is your goal, it rarely works out that way. Hyper focusing on how do I get the result, because you have to focus on not just getting the result, but becoming the result. How do I not only lose the weight, but become the person that just keeps being the way I'd like to be? But the other thing is that living a lifestyle that I wouldn't necessarily call it fasting focused, but a lifestyle that includes fasting, and when fasting is just a very available tool in your toolbox, something you're just able to do if you want to, it really just makes everything about life easier. The exception would be for someone like myself that's currently bulking, putting on muscle, 90 kilos. Guys, look at this freaking jacket, There's a thing with bulking and cutting cycles, you just get used to. Some clothes fit differently at different times of the year. But yeah, and a quick caveat, you don't lose muscle from fasting, and I even think it helps long term. It's just that right now, when I'm gaining weight, obviously fasting wouldn't be a smart idea. But I'm going to tell you how just having this skill of fasting really improves your life and how to get there. So once again, the mistake people do a lot of the time is when they find fasting is mostly for weight loss, so that's fine, but they hyper focus on the fasting part. Oh, how long can I fast? How often can I fast? These things. But the thing is, what makes you healthy and lean is not really the fast, right? Yes, the fast is a means of getting there, and of course it improves your health in some other ways, but it's really what you're doing when you're not fasting that keeps you lean and healthy, right? What you eat mainly. This is a lot of people's problem. They don't focus enough on the eating part. And that's what I will see. I'm improvising. I'm just gonna see where the video takes me. But this is the main point I'm gonna hammer on, and then we'll see what more we get to. But when I was not someone that practiced fasting, I've talked about it on this channel before. I had many vices and poor habits, and diet definitely was one of them. It wasn't my biggest vice, but I was definitely used to being able to eat whenever I want and eating junk food quite often. So when I get into this lifestyle of just fitness and training and stuff before I get into fasting, I have decent control over what I eat, but I'm definitely hungry often. Sometimes go eat something that I shouldn't have, something more. And I definitely get very tempted by sweets. I like beer, stuff like that, And then I find the fasting, and I'm very fascinated by it, So I'm just doing all these experiments with it, many different kinds of fasts, back to back 48-hour fasts for a week, doing OMAD for a month, just eating in the morning, doing a dry fast, doing 72-hour fast, just experimenting a lot. But the key thing that I know changed my relationship to food so much was that I was planning my refeeds. What I was eating, I was planning just as much as how I'm going to fast for this long, but I'm also, when I break the fast, exactly at this time, this is what I'm eating, And I'm not someone that hammers on the importance that you eat these specific things you need to eat when you break a fast. No, it doesn't really matter much, unless you go on a really long dry fast or something. But what I mean is it matters in the sense that you need to plan this, Like if you fast, you get all these food addiction reversal effects from it that you do, and insulin sensitivity. And then you just immediately go back to either eating a lot or many times throughout the day or junk food. Of course, you just immediately erase what you got from the fast. You negate, because this is what is so amazing with fasting. It's really changing habits and stuff. It takes a long time for human beings, but fasting on the physiological level, it kind of resets you. It makes you a clean slate sooner, but you have to use this. When you clean yourself out with a fast, if you will, now you have to, by doing the right things after the fast, you have to install the new software, or else you're just quickly reverting back. So what I mean is, reason food, keep it very simple. Keep it very, very simple. When you just have to know what you're doing when you're not fasting. On the day you break the fast, I'm going to break it with 300 grams of steak, 300 grams of potatoes, this amount of broccoli, 25 grams of butter. I'm just making a meal up now. And then you know that. And then later, I'm going to have my second meal. That's salmon, this amount of salmon, la la la. Doesn't matter, you know. Just keep it simple, good, real food. Know what you're doing at all times, and even, of course, not just on a refeed day, like on your other days. This is with people who are like, oh, I don't want to count calories. It's like, yeah, ideally you won't have to do that in the end, of course, but you have to fucking create a new, it's just not going to happen naturally. If you're just, oh, I'm going to try to eat healthier, you're going to go out and like buy a salad a few times at work, but then you don't really have a plan, and at some point you're just going to break. It's much easier to stick, even if it's difficult and challenging, if you know that this on the paper right here is what goes. I know there's no room for just things happening. It's just room for you like being weak sometimes, coming up short. That's another thing. But you need to not only focus on how long do I fast, how fast can I lose the weight. You have to install the fast. Cleans out. It literally takes away weight, but it also cleans out your dopamine receptor, making a more blank slate when it comes to your eating habits. So now you have to install good programming after that point, right? And if I talk about just how this improves your lifestyle, it's just that when you're able to fast, you're not overly concerned, like, because this is what happened to me now, especially now when I'm bulking. I'm building up a bigger appetite, but still I'm not struggling when I'm hungry. It's not supposed to be such an overwhelming feeling unless you're actually starving or something, you know. Like hunger should be a little like, oh, I kind of feel like eating right now, but it doesn't completely take away my focus. I'm still able to go about my day, you know. I'm just getting a signal like, yeah, maybe it's time to eat soon, you know. And if you just randomly find yourself in a situation like, oh, I didn't count on it, but I can't eat now, you're just like, okay, I'll just do it later, you know. It's like no problem. And when you want to lose weight, if you have mastered the skill of fasting especially, it's kind of like, you know, it might be a little tough sometimes. Not every fast is the same. Sometimes, especially like on a 3-day fast, somewhere in the middle there, it might be a little point when your body is depleting on glycogen and it's a bit more tough than that. But really you've done it so many times and you know that that will pass, that when you want to lose weight, of course it takes an effort, but it's kind of like, now I choose to do that. Like if you watch my channel here, I've done it back and forth. Of course there are people that don't fast that are able to do it, but I'm still saying that fasting is the fastest track there. And I mean, there's just so many things, so many positive things you can get out of fasting that's not just weight loss, and just being a person that's able to do that. Like the more used you get to fasting, the more you can get out of them. Like there is, like with any experience in life, probably if you never fast and did a 5-day fast like I did, of course it's a huge kick because it's like reaching a new level in a sense. But what I mean is that when you've gotten used to the fast so much that you really feel quite all right most of the time when you're fasting, you get more out of them like that. It's just that it's not this like huge feeling of a new accomplishment like that. But me now, for instance, it's just that I'm bulking. When I put on muscle, I kind of view it as a job, you know, being this kind of coach and influencer, whatever, content creator, teacher that I am, you know. I feel like it's something I have to do. It's kind of like a job. But for me personally, I would just love, for many reasons, to fast right now. Just clean out some stress. And yeah, it's a spiritual experience, you know. And it's just so, you know, so many people, they fear not eating. Just imagine actually having it as a tool, and sometimes it's really good for me not to eat. I get a lot out of it. I feel both physically and mentally, spiritually resetted, you know. But it's really mainly like, not when you're thinking about fasting, you have to think equally as much about the way you eat when you're not fasting. And you come up with just both the foods and when you eat and the amounts of the foods. Like, again, it's not even that you would have to focus on calories and stuff. It's that you just have to make a plan. You have to understand that it's this huge eating frequency, or just eating a lot. Getting used to eating a lot, getting used to eating very often, and eating junk food. Those are all the things that just disrupts your hormones and your natural relationship to food, the way it's supposed to be. So the fasting will help you get back to your natural state of being faster. You have to think about, like, what do I do to give my body these different signals, you know? It's just great, guys. Like, because I work with people that struggle, I see people having a hard time with diet and stuff, and of course people I just talk to, Like I'm in contact about these things with a lot of people on different levels, and so many times I'm just reminded of, wow, you know, yeah, I used to try. I thought it was tough, cutting and dealing with food and all that, and now it's just easy. It's like it's kind of, I can enjoy eating, but many times it's kind of like something I have to do. It's like kind of have to go to the bathroom, have to eat. And when I see so many people struggle with something that I just don't at all, yeah, it's just a great reminder. It's a good place to be in. But other things, quick little things we can mention is also, because some people that do focus on the fast, they make it a big thing. Oh, will I be able to do this if I haven't eaten? La 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 la. Funny thing is, it's kind of different. Some people are worried about being able to work, for instance. Oh, I can't focus when I'm not fasting. Some people are the opposite. Like, I need to be working or something, so something takes my mind off the fast. But really, what you should also be doing on the fast is just exposing yourself to things that you thought might be difficult on the fast. And like a thing like training too. I'm someone that pushes that it's not the most important thing that you train, like by all, like go ahead, take a walk or do some light exercise, but it's not really necessary to be training hard on a fast. That you can keep for when you're not fasting and you're eating. But just trying it, just seeing how you respond too, that's a thing. Because of course, when it comes to a thing like fasting, like of course, like half is like physical, you're programming your habits, you have some addictions and stuff, but half is really just like worldview, almost like beliefs about the thing. And the more you just face different situations and see that it's okay when I fasted, the more you get used to it. Of course, you master this skill of fasting. Man, am I looking forward to being able to do fast again. I have some injuries, got a new one on my wrist here. Should probably do a video about that kind of thing too, how stupid you can be even after 5 years of this, not listening to your body's signals that are very clear, like stop fucking training your wrist for a little bit. Yeah, what I'm saying is, if I would see that these injuries, they are probably blocking a bit of my training progress now, I might change my mind and go on a fast. Otherwise, I'm looking forward to doing it around Christmas, as the tradition is. But yeah, guys, of course I coach these things: fitness, muscle building, weight loss, fasting, mindset, really everything I talk about on this video. Fastest track to get where you want to be is, of course, to use the help of someone that's reached a similar result that you'd like for yourself. So if you're interested in my coaching programs, send me a DM on Instagram, email me, tell you about my different options. Please consider becoming a member. Otherwise, supporting the channel, it's very much appreciated as well. And please subscribe for more content about fitness, fasting, losing weight, building muscle, self-improvement, stoicism, mental health, philosophy, spirituality, mindset. It is a mindset, guys. Become, not just do. Peace.